today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up and gonna rise with the sun.
Hello everyone, hope you've all had a nice weekend. So as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, today what we're going to do, we're going to go through the bag. So on my first solo wild camp, it was pretty much all about just taking in my first night solo wild camping, my first wild camp as well. So I thought what I'd do today is we'll go through the bag with you, give you a breakdown of what I took on the first night and probably what I maybe in the future camps or next camps to try and reduce the weight is probably what I wouldn't take in future with me. So stick with me. As always, let's go and have a look what's inside. So before we do get into the video, I just want to take this time just to give a shout out to the Lone Explorer. He came across my video and kindly commented on the video. He just wanted to let me know that it was actually him camping just further down from me on my first solo wild camp. He also just wanted to let me know that, as I mentioned in my video, I said that I thought it was a Lanshan, but it turns out it was a new tent that he was just out for that night, just giving a go. It's a tent called the Z-Packs Deluxe. So what I'll do is I'll leave a note in the description to his channel. Go check out his videos. But without further ado, let's get into the bag. So before we get into the main bag, what we'll do is we'll take a look through the pockets, side pockets, things that I've got on the side of the bag. So firstly up, as I mentioned in the video as well, the first thing that one of the things that I was carrying was water. So I filled the bottle up actually today. So in this first side pocket, we've got the 1 litre bottle of water. I'm actually I filled the bottle up because what I'm going to do is after I've recorded this video is I'm going to sit down, make myself a nice little hot drink. So that's the first thing that was in the side of the bag. As other people mention, 1 litre of water is about 1 kilo. So at the 16 kilos, you can take a kilo off. That'd be 15 kilos just with the water. I did find out as well and come to realise that I did put in the 1 litre of water in this. I had a litre of water in the hydration pack, which I mentioned, and I also carried the ½ litre that I had in my hand. I only actually used this 1 litre bottle the whole night, and I think I even emptied it out. That was after making hot drinks and also cooking my dinner. So yeah, so next time I probably won't take as much water with me on the first night. If however though I was going for more than one night, I probably would take the hydration pack with me and maybe a little bit more water than the 1 litre that I just had in the hydration pack. I only put the 1 litre in just because it fitted in the back of the backpack quite well and it's quite flat. It is a 2 litre hydration pack. So the backpack that I actually took for the first night was a relatively new pack that I'd recently purchased. I did have a bigger pack, have got a 70 litre pack, but I thought for the one night solo camping it was probably a little bit too much. So I recently went out and purchased the OEX Valo 60 litre rucksack. So to be fair, I walked 2.5 miles to the spot where I camped and then the 2.5 miles out, and the bag, to be fair, was pretty comfy. I didn't really feel the weight too much on my shoulders. The only thing I did find is the side buckle did dig in a little bit, and at the day after, to be fair, it was a little bit sore on my sides, but I'm guessing that's due to the fact that I haven't really done much hiking. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going more out with the backpack, putting the backpack on and going out some hikes, just get my body more used to the pack on my back. So on the side of the pack, there's a couple of things that I do have. I actually have a couple of these carabiner clips. I just thought I'd put them on the bag because if anything happens and I need to clip something up, I've got a couple of carabiner clips here that I can secure something down, or if anything breaks or need to hold anything, clip it onto the side of the bag. I've got a couple of carabiner clips here to do so. So what we'll do is we'll start off at the top of the bag and work our way down. So in the first pocket in the top here, what I've got is I've got some bags. I actually use these as rubbish bags, just a couple of small bin liner bags, also then just got the Ziploc bag just to make sure if there was any liquids it wouldn't leak. The best thing I also had in that bag was these earplugs, because from the Lone Explorer advised me that night the winds he clocked were up to 42 mile an hour gusts, and these drowned that sound out pretty well, helped me sleep. So yeah, so that's the first thing in the top of the bag. So second thing that we've got in the top of the bag is what I needed on that night, and I'm glad that I packed them, was the paracetamol, because as I mentioned, I had a really bad headache that first night, and these came in absolutely brilliant. So next thing, moisturiser. No, keep the old face nice and moisturised. Brought the little one just because it's ideal to go in the bag, to be fair, but then I thought if I do use it up I can just refill the little so that's everything out of the front little pouch. We have, however, got a pouch at the back, and what I kept in here was, which I wore on the night, was the good old trusty woolly hat. Kept my head warm, but not only did it keep my head warm, I also actually used it as a bit of an eye mask. So when I went to bed, pulled it down over my eyes, it was nice and dark, and yeah, kept me warm as well throughout the night. The next thing that we've also got in the back here is the head torch. So this head torch I actually brought from Decathlon. It's just their 4-class one, rechargeable. It's got different settings, so you've got your red light, you've got what I'd say your low beam, and also your sort of high beam. Didn't actually use it on the night, but it's in the bag, and no doubt on my next camps I'll probably be using the head. And the final thing in the back is actually, put it in a Ziploc bag again, toothpaste and toothbrush. The reason I put it in the Ziploc bag is toothbrush is going to be wet, and if the toothpaste was to leak, it's not going to end all up in the rucksack. So yeah, that just rolls down, pop that in the bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop the bag off of this branch, just due to the fact that I need to get into the top of the bag. So in the inside pouch, which you can see here, so within the inside of the pouch, I packed in here I packed in the inside of the bag all of the food that I took, and to be fair, I ate one meal out of the whole bunch of foods that I took. So the first thing we've got here is my titanium fork and spoon. This is just a Tito one. I think I got it off Amazon. I think it was about £11 for the two. So yes, that's the first thing, long-handled titanium fork and spoon. The next one is the meals. So as you can see, I packed a fair essential few meals for the one night. I heard numerous different people from other channels that I'd watched talk about the chocolate muesli from Decathlon. So I was actually in Decathlon getting the head torch a few weeks ago, so I thought, saw them on the shelf, pick it up, I could see what that's like. I packed the mugshot just in case I got peckish. Ideal, put it in my cup, boil it up with some water, be easy. I actually took, for dessert I was going to have chocolate brownie, however it says you can eat it hot or cold, but to heat it hot, it says to transfer the contents of it into a pan and bring it to just heat it up basically until it's piping hot and eat it. I did my little one pot stove, probably wasn't big enough for this to fit in, so I decided on the night not to have it. As I also said in the other video, I wasn't too sure which dinner to have. I turned out I had the chicken fajita. I did take the spicy pork noodles, so I'll keep that for next time, and no doubt I'll give that a go and let you know what that one's like. And then I also, while I was at Go Outdoors, when I picked up the chicken fajita, I also picked up just a adventure food muesli as well. So next time I'll only take breakfast and dinner and maybe a snack to keep me going, as I took all, probably extra weight that wasn't really needed. So next up in the bag, we've got my down jacket. I purchased this yet again. I brought this from Go Outdoors. It's just the Peter Storm down jacket. Folds away into the pocket. I think it cost me about 40 to 50 pounds. Folds away, you can pull it out nicely. I didn't actually use it on the night because I was pretty warm in the Caramore jacket that I had on. But I do have the down jacket, so when the nights do get colder, I can always put the down jacket on, keep me extra warm. Now, waterproof clothing. A lot of people obviously have got their hiking clothing that they use. I needed a waterproof jacket just in case the weather turned. But I do also do mountain biking, and what I did buy a while ago is I actually purchased this. It's a Fox waterproof jacket, but I do use it for my mountain biking. But I thought it was an ideal waterproof jacket to stick over the top of my other layers I had on. And to be fair, it's a really good waterproof jacket and it wasn't cheap, so I thought I'd just pop that in. So next up is the one main thing in the bag that I showed you in the video, was my bag. I popped all of my clothing inside this waterproof sack, only because, yet again, if it was to get wet, it would have kept my clothes dry. However, everything that's in here didn't actually get used. And what I'll do is I'll just show you briefly basically what I had in the bag. It's also really good because these, once you squeeze the air out of them and you can shape them into your bag, they go in really well. So inside the clothing bag we had an extra fleece, which I didn't use whatsoever, as I was perfectly warm enough in what I had on. So we had the fleece in there. We had an extra long sleeve top. Now this top is the same as the one that I'm wearing. Both of these tops were from Decathlon. They were $9.99 each. To be fair, they're actually pretty warm, and I wore this underneath my underneath the Caramore jacket. Just got a blue one just to go with in case I got cold. I packed some gloves. Yet again, these from Decathlon, Caramore. They were $6.99 pair of gloves. Just thought they were thin enough, and if it did get a bit chilly, I could just pop the gloves on, keep my hands warm. We had a spare pair of socks. Like I said, all of this stuff in the bag never got used, so we took the spare parts. I keep those ones. They're just some spare pants. I've also got in here is the merino wool, North Ridge merino wool base layer top, and then I've also got the trousers as well to go with it. So yeah, I've got the trousers as well. It was chilly, but not that chilly on the night, so yeah, again, probably a lot of stuff in here that I wouldn't take with me on the next one. Another little thing actually I brought from Decathlon, it's really good, I thought, for drying stuff off. Little towel, folds away. It was perfect, folds away into the bag. They do these in different sizes. I think I've got the extra large and large for when I go showering. It's like a microfiber material, but it packs down, little elastic goes around it, nice and small. Thought I could use that, dry a tent if needed, or dry my cup out and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's everything that was in the waterproof bag. But like I said, probably majority of the stuff I won't take with me again on the next one. Probably just take a spare pair of socks in case I get wet. So next up, what we've got in the bag is we've got my cup. So it's just a cup from Go Outdoors. What I tend to do though is I tend to put my water in the cup first, and put this then into the pot. So I'm basically just not boiling unnecessary water. So I do keep a cup with me. It's nice just to have a cup as well to drink out of. So yeah, so you've got the cup that we take with me. As you saw in the last slide, this is the Onite USB LED light. It's got different settings on it. I plugged this directly into the power bank. You've got different settings, so you've got warm light, you've got a cool white light and a natural white light. It's dimmable, so you can turn it up and down if needed. Hangs up in the tent nicely, and then yeah, I just use this as my light, but I probably might look at getting something different. But I had this, I brought this off Amazon. It was only about £10. Take that with me. So yes, that's the light that I use. I've got, to go along obviously with the waterproof jacket, also pop in a pair of basic, very basic waterproof trousers. These were from Sports Direct. Brought them a number of years ago. Just used to play a bit of golf and they were ideal. Pack away nice and small. So yeah, pair of just basic waterproof trousers. So next up we've got the cooking, what I took with me for my for cooking. Gas canister. It's the 230 gram gas canister. Reason that I took this gas canister is the fire maple that I've got. This size gas canister actually fits inside my fire maple, and all the accessories then fit on top of it. So inside the part in the fire maple, you've got your gas canister and everything in there. So that's the reason why I've got the 230 gram ones. But for a one night, I'll probably maybe look at getting some smaller ones, just as they'll fit down in the bag a little bit better, and they're also not going to be as heavy as taking the 230 gram one. Next up, we've got the cook pot. This was the one that I said that I brought from Black's about a week before. It's a one pot set. So as I mentioned in the video, what I'll do is I'll get it out for you. As I said in the video though, I thought it was a 400 ml, but it actually turns out that it's a 500 ml main pot, and then a 250 ml smaller pot on top. And then what I've got in here inside the cook pot is I've got a lighter, as the stove that I've got doesn't have a electric piezo on it. So I've got a light here, and then inside here as well is also where I keep the stove. So the stove being, that is the OEX Novo stove. Great little stove. Folds away nice and compact. But I like the fact that the gas pipe on it doesn't fit obviously on. You don't have to put the stove on top and then have a stand for the gas. The little gas pipe obviously sits separately, so you can pop the gas wherever you want around it, and then it just folds out. Top little tripod legs fold out for your pots to go on top, and then you've also got the legs at the bottom which fold out and sits nicely on the floor. I have got the wind guard for this, which I bought that if I was cooking outside and it was windy, I can put the wind guard around it. However, as you saw from the video, I was cooking, heating up the water in the vestibule area, but I had the door wide open, so I was just using it for a brief short time just to heat the water up. But yeah, that's the OEX Novo stove. So next up in here we have a little bag of goodies. Those goodies being some hot chocolates and coffees, like a hot drink. Kept you warm, it makes you feel better when it was a bit colder. and that wind chill picked up. So ideal that they're in this bag. I can put them down the side of the other bits and bobs in the bag. For sleeping, pillow wise, I've got the Trekology Or Luft Deluxe. Great pillow. It's got an elastic strap that you can strap it around the bottom of your air pad, or you can unclip the pad off and pop this in the hood of your sleeping bag. So yeah, great pillow, very comfortable. And the deluxe model, it's got like a soft feeling on the pillow. So yeah, that's great. I also got in here is the hydration bag. This is a 1.5 litre bag, sorry. So 1.5 litre is actually out of my camel pack that I use for my mountain biking, but it's perfect. I put a litre of water in it. It fits down in the back of the pack, so I had it up against my back. I could probably fill it with the full 1.5 litres. However, I filled it up with a litre, didn't even use it. So on a one night solo trip, I'll leave this behind unless I'm going on something a little bit longer that I might need some more water. I do like to carry the water. I know a lot of people have water filters, which I may look into at some point, getting a water filter. It all depends at the places I'm going to, whether there's a water source that I can filter water out, but always great to carry this in just for added water. The next up is my sleeping pad. So a saying goes, and I've watched some of the YouTube videos of people saying, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Now, I found that out with this pad. This is the Unigear Comfy P3. Now, according to the reviews, this is supposed to have an R rating of 2. However, the night on my solo camp, I felt the cold through the bottom of this. And also then when I went out earlier in the last month in April, when I went down to Devon, I took this with me, and I also went and brought a silver lined roll pad to put underneath it, and I could still feel the cold. It's meant to have, like I said, an R rating of 2, but I don't think it's got a very high R rating. The bag is actually a pump sack as well, which fits directly onto the bottom of the bag. And I tested it before I went out, how long it would take me to pump it up. It was about 4 minutes to pump this air pad. But as I said, I will be looking later on in the year, once the temperatures do start and get a bit cooler, of maybe, yeah, I'll definitely look at upgrading this for something that's got a better R rating and is going to keep me warmer. So yeah, the one other thing before we get into the tent is can of deodorant. Bit of a squally shower in the morning, saves having to have a wash. Yeah, carry some deodorant with me. So with the tent, as I mentioned with the tent previously, it's the tent that I purchased was the OEX Jackal 2. I brought this tent from Go Outdoors. I think it was about £165. What I did do though is I brought the bags along with me just so I can show you how it fits into the bag. So in the bag itself, you have 2 separate bags. So if you wanted to, if you was going out camping and there was more than one of you, you can obviously split the weight between you. There's a bag here that's for the poles and inner, and then a bag for the pegs and the flow sheet. Both of them obviously waterproof and you can roll them down. However, if you've got the poles in one, you're not really going to be able to roll it down too much. I started off with these. However, what I was finding is I didn't want anything strapped to the outside of my bag. So I just wanted the backpack and everything pretty much inside of the backpack. So what I did is everything wasn't fitting very well in the bag. So I separated everything out, poles and pegs separate, and also the flying inner. They're all separate, but I just want to show you that, yeah, it comes in the 2 bags, also then fits into the large bag. they're the bags that come with the tent. As also said in the video, is I got my weights wrong. This tent actually weighs 2.94 kilos, so it's not a light tent. It's a 2-man tent. It's an ideal tent for one person and your stuff to go with you. I think 2 people will be a squash, and you've got the vestibule area is quite big at the front, but yeah, personally for me, I like to use this just as a 1-man tent, and I can get all my bits and bobs in there with me. So yeah, so moving on to the tent. I've got the tent. This is the inner and the fly both in here, in this waterproof, in the waterproof sack. Yet again, I used this due to the fact that I could get the tent squashed really far down in here, and then you can see from the side on that it's quite flat, and I shape it into the bottom of the bag, and then I can fit stuff down the side of the tent. But yeah, that for me, that was so much better than having it in its other 2 bags separately. So yeah, the tent and the inner and the fly are in here. As I said, the nature hike Cloud Up 2 is on its way. That weighs, I think it was, I actually wrote it down here, so let me have a quick look for you. The actual Cloud Up 2 weighs 1.56 kilos, so once the nature hike arrives, be about half of the weight of this current tent. So I'll probably favour maybe taking the Cloud Up 2 out with me, but also have this tent there just in case I do need it. So yeah, so that's the tent. So the last thing in the bag is the sleeping bag. And the sleeping bag that I've got, which you're probably going to say I've got quite a bit of OEX stuff, is the OEX Leviathan EV900 down sleeping bag. I brought the stuff sack along with me, obviously just to show you that it has got its own stuff sack. However, I favoured taking it out of the stuff sack. Only reason being is when I put it in the stuff sack, although it does go down pretty small, I was finding that it was still taking up quite a bit of room at the bottom of the bag, and it's quite just like a round. It's just, yeah, pretty round, so I couldn't really get it shaped into the bag. So I took it out of the stuff sack. I have also got it, the larger bag, basically, when I'm not using it, rather than it being down in this condensed bag all the time, pop it into its larger bag. But yeah, the tent's in here. The sleeping bag, sorry, is in here. So this helped me. What I've done at the bottom of the bag as well is I've unzipped the section in the bottom of the rucksack where you can put your sleeping bag at the bottom and then all your other gear on top of it. I unzipped that so that I could get this down on the bottom and get the tent on top of it. And then what I also do is I can pack stuff then down the side of the bag. So yeah, sleeping bag's in here. The EV900, obviously, it's probably more favoured for colder weather sleeping, but I'd rather be warm than be cold. And if I take this and then end up unzipping it and just using it as a blanket, I'd probably rather do that than take a sleeping bag. I do have another sleeping bag that I could probably use in the warmer weathers, but for the most part at the minute, I'll probably just take this one with me on the single wide solo camps, and then if I find it's getting too much, I can drop down into my other sleeping bag. So the final part of the bags is the 2 side compartments, which I've got a few things in there, and then what I'll do is I'll go through them now with you so that you can see what we've got. So in the first side pocket, we've got the windshield for the stove, which I brought basically to use it, but as you saw from the video, I heated up, I boiled up my water in the vestibule area. I kept the door open wide, so obviously no carbon monoxide going into the tent or sort of keeping risks to low. But if I was cooking outside, obviously, and it's windy, I'll put the windshield up, and the windshield, to be fair, packs down nice and flat and goes perfect in the side pocket of the bag. Next up, in the side pocket, I've got another little torch. It's got two different lights on it. You've got your normal torch, and then you've also got a side light. Brought this from Home Bargains. It's about £1.50. But just there, just in case I need it really in the night, if I haven't got the head torch to hand. It's also got a little magnet on the side of it and a clip, and I tend to usually pop it in the side pocket of the sleeping in the tent, and then I can just grab it to hand if I need it. So yeah, I've got a little torch. We have got also in there is the Power 26,000 milliamp hour power bank. Now, it's got a solar panel on the front of it, which I've not used, and according to reviews, it has to be in direct sunlight for it to work. It gives a little LED indicator of when it's actually charging the solar, but as I said, I haven't used it. It's also got two USB-A outputs and a USB-C input and output. So input being for charging the unit, and then the output for using your iPhone, charging up with your iPhone with the USB-C. But yeah, I've got the power bank in there. Oh, and it also does come with, as well, if needed, it's also got an LED light on the back of it that you can use. But yeah, it's pretty good. It supposedly is meant to charge your iPhone up to 8 times. I've not actually tested that as yet. I do plug the LED bulb into this and use that, but I'll test it and see if it does do the full 8 charge of the iPhone, and let you know in a future video. Final thing in this side pocket is a lighter, another one, but I won't be taking this with me in future. It's ideal, but as you saw from the cook part, I've got just a normal disposable lighter that fits in the top there, so I'll leave this for any next camp that I go on. So yeah. And then in the final side pocket, we have actually got the tent poles and pegs, which, as I said, I separated them out. It fits in perfectly into the side of here. So we've got the poles and the pegs for the tent. They both go in the side. I carried some apple and blackcurrant squash, the concentrate one. It's small, fits in the side of the pocket, ideal. And then the final thing, just in the bottom of the bag, in the bottom of the pocket, is just some spare batteries for the light, for the torch in case I need them. So yeah, so that's what I took in the bag with me. Inside the bag's also got obviously a waterproof rain cover on it. You got the side, your waistband pouches, which I keep a few little things in here. Got a pair of sunglasses. I've got another little torch. Quite ideal actually. If you need to grab it to hand. And then I've also got a calendar in here. Just to write stuff down really on the days and stuff and whatnot that I was doing. So yeah. So that's that one side pocket. And in the other waistband pocket, I've just got in here a selfie stick that also is a tripod as well, for recording on the iPhone. I can just pop it down in the tent. So yes, that's everything that I took for the one night solo wild camp. As I said there in the video, clothing wise, I'll probably leave a lot of the clothing next time. Probably more favour that, like I did on the hike up to where I was solo wild camping. I probably had enough layers on that if I got too hot I could take layers off. I won't take as many clothing as I will do on the next one, and I won't take also as much food as well. So yeah, so that's everything that I took for my one night solo wild camp. So if you like the video, remember, please give it a thumbs up, and also to keep updated with any future videos when they come out, wild camps, hikes, or just general going over, like today, what's in the bag. please subscribe. And what I'll also do is the first 3 people to comment on the video, I'll give a shout out in the next video. So I hope you all have a nice bank holiday weekend, and until the next one, peace.